Hi everybody, welcome to day 8 of the intermittent fasting raw food challenge. We are over the hump, although hopefully you'll incorporate a lot of this into your normal lifestyle from now on. I mean, it's not that hard to do intermittent fasting 11 to 7, and as you go further and further, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the 14 days, I'll probably just go on 21 days just because it's not really that hard for me to do this. But I know it is hard for some people out there, and I know some people struggle with even just making a transition to one raw meal a day. That's how people have been so manipulated since the last 50 years. I mean, my mom growing up had home-cooked meals. Her grandma. Me growing up had home-cooked meals. Actually, right when I was around in the 1960s, really, right around 1965 is when it really started to get pretty bad with the processed and canned and boxed foods and getting people from enjoying the cooking process and gardening. A lot of the home gardens started going away. That was all done by design and media and the big agriculture and the big food industry that wanted to control the food industry, and they wanted to control what they put into food, how they processed food, and then they wanted you to microwave the food as well. People have, I think just from talking to people in the last 14 days or just the last 7 or 8 days, today is day 8. It's still difficult for them to find a restaurant that serves good raw organic food, or just with recipes in general. And we have had some questions about what's a good raw salad dressing. And my best answer for that is what I do is go online in Google and just type in raw salad dressing, raw organic salad dressings. There's multiple sites that come up, and then you can just go choose which one you want, one that's easy to make. And I like to, do multiple different types of salad dressings. Or sometimes I'll just eat a salad without any dressing at all and just get that taste of the vegetables. As a matter of fact, after you water fast for a long time and you reset your taste buds, everything tastes good. Like, you don't need salt on anything and you don't need oil on anything, and that's why Dr. Goldhammer, his diet program is the SOS diet, which is no salt, no oil, and no sugar. Of course, most of the oils out there are hydrogenated, talking about in restaurants and talking about cooking oils and lard and all that stuff are very, very, very toxic to you, or can be very toxic to you. So let me go ahead and jump into some questions right now for today. First question is, well, there was a question that Andrew asked about, could one get vitamin poisoning, as in taking too many supplements? And I really like this question because I've been saying for a long, long time, there are two different types of vitamin supplements. There are toxic vitamin supplements, and there are very luxurious, high-end nutraceutical supplements. Take calcium, for example. You have calcium carbonate, calcium lactate, calcium malate, calcium aspartate, calcium arginate, calcium hydroxyapatite. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If you go to any grocery store or you go to any drugstore out there or any discount store, you're 99%, probably all of the supplements that you're going to get from any of those stores are going to be synthetic, they're going to be man-made, and they're going to contain poisonous colors, binders, excipients, flow agents, and toxic vitamins or minerals that are probably going to be high in lead and arsenic and all kinds of other stuff, because those products have to be made at extremely low prices, like probably under $1 a bottle. Maybe even those products are being made in China or India or somewhere else and being shipped in, and they're being made at maybe 25 cents a bottle. It's very, very sad to think that a good portion of the population is still buying their vitamins and mineral supplements from these discount stores and grocery stores and drug stores and outlet stores. First rule of thumb, and yes, for example, all of those, if you go in the grocery store, you go in an outlet store like that, and you look at the calcium, I guarantee you like 99% of them are going to have calcium carbonate. It's the cheapest form. It's like putting B12. It's like using methylcobalamin. Cyanocobalamin. If you look at that, and you'll see that calcium carbonate is actually bad for the body. So you'll go in there and you'll get a bone health formula, and it has calcium carbonate in it, and it doesn't have boron, it doesn't have a vitamin D, and it doesn't have the ratio of magnesium that you need to calcium. And calcium carbonate will actually leach calcium from your bones. So you can go in and get a bone health formula from a drugstore that has calcium carbonate, and you're actually causing more damage in your body. You're poisoning yourself with all that calcium, which is going to be calcifying your cardiovascular system, your arteries, all of that stuff, and the other synthetic vitamins. And you're going to have all the toxic fillers, excipients, colors, and all the glues they use to stick the tablets together that are going to cause congestion in your liver. So everything you do, you have to look at the cleanliness of it. If you want to eat the healthiest food, then you're going to eat the organic, the biodynamic, the fresh local fruits and vegetables, the best type of meat you can get, the range-fed chickens. I mean, all of that is, you're going to look at that. So why suffer, or why, get a tricycle when you can get a Rolls Royce? And yes, I understand it's more difficult and more expensive, just like organic food is. But I mean, can you really put a price tag on your body and your health? I mean, who wants to suffer every single day? And it's been known during long-term medically supervised water fasting to have vitamin supplements that people have taken, like pieces of gum that they chewed, and they stopped chewing gum when they were a teenager. All of a sudden, all that stuff comes out of you, which has been sitting inside your system for 10, 15, 20 years. You can go into Google and type in x-rays, bowel x-rays showing vitamins, and you'll actually see under images of people that have gone in for barium or x-rays or some sort of bowel testing, and you can see where vitamins are still lodged inside the intestines. So yes, I mean, everything that you do, and drinking pure clean water as opposed to drinking tap water, using organic cosmetic products instead of using toxic cosmetic products, using aromatherapy in your home instead of air fresheners, the ones you buy from the store that contain high levels of phthalates and endocrine disrupting chemicals. Using a couple drops of essential oils in your dryer instead of using dryer things that you buy from the store. Dryer scent things. Those are extremely toxic, and they put phthalates and chemicals on your clothes. You just have to look at everything that you're doing and just slowly start turning it to organic or non-toxic in your life. So that's a good question. And not only vitamin poisoning, but everything poisoning. Like, you really need to start paying attention to every single thing that you're doing in your life as far as poisoning. I mean, we've literally had people, we've discovered that the nickel in their eyeglass frame was causing them to have major allergy symptoms and toxicity. We've had people that have worn different types of jeans, and the metal was touching by their abdomen, that have had chronic reactions and started developing too many toxins of different compounds in their body. You'd be amazed at some of the things that we've found out there with titanium dioxide in coffee creamers or hair care products, or just mercury fillings and amalgams. I mean, if you have mercury fillings in your mouth, you might want to find a biological dentist nearby you. Just type in, watch my mercury documentary film that's on our Global Healing Center YouTube channel, and have everybody in your family watch it. Another good documentary that just came out is What the Health. You know, if you really want to, you really have to learn about these things, because as you learn more about it, you start realizing how corrupt the system really is, and the cruelty to all the animals that's taking place, and science behind why you should be eating more of a vegetarian diet. Or vegan-based diet if you want, or just incorporating more raw foods. I mean, here's the thing with this 14-day challenge. Not only are you accomplishing the fact that you're giving your body more energy to heal itself, because you're not eating breakfast and you're only eating between 11 and 7, which is fabulous, and you're probably drinking twice as much water as you normally drink on a regular basis. But you're also learning how to incorporate raw food meals into your diet. So even after you're done with this, let's just say you take baby steps and you start saying, well, you know what? I'm just going to eat one raw food meal every single day. Or I'm going to have one green juice every day. I'm going to make that commitment. I'm going to have one green juice every day, and I'm going to have one raw food meal every day. And I'm still going to stay on the intermittent fasting from 11 to 7. Congratulations. I mean, you've just accomplished something that 95% of the population hasn't accomplished. So, you know, any of those things are going to be beneficial for you, and you will, I guarantee it, start feeling better and be happier, and your life will change, as long as you're not under massive amounts of stress. I mean, stress and anxiety and negative emotions, those are all things that can override all of the food and stuff like that need to be addressed if you're... But let me tell you, in traditional Chinese medicine, you know how they used to treat anybody with any mental disorders, not like here where they would drill into your brain. But over there, they always associated any type of anxiety, depression, jealousy, any mental, so-called mental disorder as congestion in the liver. They would always purge your liver, put you on a water fast, do some detoxification, and all of that would go away. So I would highly suggest, if you're suffering from any, look, we're all going to have a little bit of depression from time to time. We're going to get angry a little bit from time to time. We're going to have, feelings of anxiety and stress. But that's just the way that we've always been as a culture for thousands of years. But we get over it. We find solutions. I mean, if you have a stressful situation in your life, it's probably not going to last that long. So try not to get yourself all worked up over it, and then it goes away in a week anyway, or a week and a half. And you look back and say, did I really need to be that stressed out about all of that when it ended up working itself out anyway? So just something to consider. Here's a question about calcium from Rosalind. How long is it safe to take calcium supplementation? This is another one. I mean, I like calcium orotate. I think calcium orotate, calcium aminoethyl phosphate are the two best forms of calcium to take. When you take calcium, though, you should take half as much magnesium. You should take some boron if you're trying to build your bones, and you should make sure you're supplementing with a good vitamin D formula, D3. Those are going to be the majority of the precursors that you're going to need for proper calcium absorption. Now, I like to think that you should not be on bags full of nutritional supplements, because I like to address the root cause of issues. And a lot of times people that have a lot of dairy in their diet, dairy will not produce more calcium for you, because I know you see all the commercials where it says got milk and all that stuff, and dairy has been marketed as milk and dairy for building your calcium levels. That is a big scam. Okay? If it was raw dairy, then yes, it would. But because we have pasteurization processes, we have all kinds of chemicals in the milk these days, we have different types of milk in general. You know, we have GMO particles in some of the milk and everything else. Milk will actually cause you to be calcium deficient, and it will weaken your bones. Same with fluoride. That's another reason why people are taking a bunch of calcium supplements out there, and they're not even realizing it's the ingestion of all the fluoride. It causes all kinds of bone problems and teeth problems. So that's something that iodine will help you eliminate the excess fluoride in your body, and you want to make sure that you're drinking clean water. You're not consuming any fluoride, chlorine, or bromine. You can type in bromine-containing foods online. Fluoride, where is fluoride found? Or watch my fluoride documentary film as well on the YouTube, on the Global Healing Center YouTube channel. So you really need, back to the question, how long is it safe to take calcium? The question is, well, are you eating any dairy? Are you consuming any fluoride? I mean, why are you having to take calcium? And I would always say, we had people walking into our clinic when we had a clinic with literally 2 bags full of supplements that they were taking every day. And so I would say, well, what did this natural health doctor do to clean you out and activate your body's own self-healing mechanism? Nothing. So get off all those supplements. Go through an intestinal cleanse. Let's heal your gut, because when you have a healthy gut and you have that healthy gut bacteria, you're naturally producing a lot of those vitamins and minerals. Those are all produced in your gut. Your gut is like a perfect soil, like the soil of the earth. Well, inside your gut, you have a lining too. And that's like the soil of the earth. That's like the soil of your body. And if you have all the proper probiotics working in unison, you're not killing them off with all the alcohol you're drinking or the prescription drugs you're taking or all the meat that you're consuming or, all the other millions of things out there that are damaging our gut or poisoning our soil inside of our body, then you're going to have naturally those minerals and vitamins produced. Even amino acids can be produced in the bowel by microorganisms. So, you have to ask yourself, what is the root cause of the situation we're dealing with? And the root cause of every health situation, mineral deficiencies, protein deficiencies, all of that ends up, you can trace it all the way back to the gut and what people are putting in their mouth. So I would say, let's start there. Start with intestinal cleansing, repairing the gut. That's the #1 thing everybody needs to do. And then move on to the liver. Start doing your multiple liver cleanses. Then move on to the harmful organism cleanse. And then move on to the chemical and heavy metal cleanse. And get all that stuff out of your system so you can reactivate your body's self-healing mechanism. And that is where everybody needs to start. When we were doing that same process with, we still do that same process with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I just don't understand why. It's so simple to me. I don't understand why all doctors aren't incorporating this into their practice. Because even if you're going to give somebody a pharmaceutical or even if you're going to give somebody a nutritional program, why aren't you cleaning them out first? That makes no sense. Why are you not cleansing their intestinal tract completely, repairing their gut, cleansing their liver, getting rid of all that junk, and then evaluate the person and see what kind of deficiencies they have, and then you can address that with some sort of a maintenance program. So that's today's update. Thank you all for tuning in. Keep your questions coming, and I look forward to talking to everybody tomorrow. Have a great day, have a happy day, and have a healthy day. Live healthy.